Just give me a quick second. I'm not sure if anyone's going to come in. I did not set up the live stream in advance. Completely slipped my mind. Hey, Phil. Hey, Sissy. I was just saying that I had not set up my live stream in advance. Hey, Sniper. Excuse me, guys. I'm a bit swamped. Hey, Todd. With people, with guests. I think I'm almost booked up solid. Hey, Sniper. Um, would Thursday work for you for the Esoteric Lounge? I have inadvertently double booked a bunch of stuff. I got to reach out to 2 guests on Monday and 3 guests on Monday and see if I can arrange stuff in advance. Sissy says, we were waiting for sure. I started watching your last clip while waiting. I have people all the way booked. Well, not all the way booked up, but I have people booked up in February already. Things are clipping along. Here's the important thing. It isn't even so much the live stream. It's what happens after the live stream. This is why I'm so happy, and I need to keep working on this. Thank you, Sniper. This is why I'm so happy to have started the playlist for the Esoteric Lounge. Someone might not watch an hour and a half clip of, a live stream of what Sniper's talked about, but there's so much packed in that a 3-minute clip, minute clip, a little longer form content, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, people are going to watch those and they're going to digest. These are in little bite-sized bits that people can wrap their thoughts around and also put into action. So those are the important things. If there's ever a moment in any of the Esoteric Lounge, sorry guys, that stands out as meaningful for any of you, let me know and I'll make sure to clip it for you. We'll have it up there. It's all going to be eventually. It's all going to be in the playlist, and you can just click on it. We got 2 in there. I'll add 1 or 2 today. Todd said, "Hey Todd, how is it to be popular?" I'm actually more popular with the guests than I am with an audience. It's not. I'm not drawing in any big crowds. That's okay. Simple says it was just watching them. Let me know how you like them. If you I want to make sure that I'm capturing the what needs to be captured. All right, just give me a second, guys. We're waiting. Oh, there she is. I was going to say we're waiting for Anna before we go into chapter or lesson 13. And I'm going to make a quick change here. I should do a playlist of the lessons as we're going as well. Hey, Kat. Let me know when you guys are ready for lesson 13. As of tomorrow, we will be 14 in. 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks. Well done, guys. I'm going to bring up the big screen so I can see everyone. I'm way behind. Didn't even realize that I had not set up for today. I need to set up for Carol this evening. All right. Here we go. Manifestor, how you feeling? Cat says, found you. Cat always finds me. And it says, yes, I have appointments this afternoon. Todd, how about you? Manifestor says, well, I'm having breakfast with my friends this morning. Nice. Going to see the housing department this afternoon. Then a good old-fashioned walk with my dog, with my new daughter for a bit, down the beach. Awesome. And it says, how are you, Cat? Sissy says, Grand Risings, everyone. Todd says, I'm spending the day with my wife. It will be a fun day. Awesome, Todd. What's up, Marlon? So I have Janet Weisserman coming up this afternoon. She is another longtime course teacher, student. She's got a wonderful YouTube channel, Janet Weisserman. And then the legendary, The Loving Force of Carol Howe, Howe. She made a video. So after, if you guys have any questions about the lessons from 1 to 365, she's made a video for each one. Might be the most popular daily guide of course lessons that you can find. She's one of two people who knew all four of the key figures who brought A Course in Miracles into play. She's been a student, I believe, since 1976, which is when the course got published. She was good friends and mentored by Bill Thetford, who was one of the two original scribes. She's had conversations with Helen, friends with Ken Wapnick. So she's been around the spiritual block. Awesome, Phil. Marlon, how are you? Hey, Charlie. All right, here we go, guys. Diving in, lesson 13. So we talked about a meaningless world, right? I am upset because I see a meaningless world was yesterday. The reason why we're seeing a meaningless world is because of a meaningless thoughts. The reason why we're having meaningless thoughts is because our mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. We might want to think that if, thinking about the past protects us in the present and into the future. Nope. You don't need that protection of past thoughts because it keeps us in the past. If the past worked so well for us, hey, we wouldn't need protection right now, would we? We wouldn't need to protect ourselves in any form. This moment, right now, presents to you everything you need to feel safe. Everything. You don't need the past to guide you. We think we do, and we argue for that. So, of course, we keep acting upon it, and it keeps us trapped in the past. Letting go of past thoughts does not mean you don't have discernment. It doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. In fact, you have greater intuition. You are guided to do just the right thing to keep yourself safe and to keep others safe as well. This moment, not the past. So our meaningless thoughts are showing us a meaningless world, and we are upset because we see a meaningless world. However, lesson 13 says a meaningless world engenders fear. This is why we live in a world of fear. Our meaningless thoughts, the thoughts about the past. He did this to me, she did that to me, this country did this, that country did that. So, a meaningless world engenders fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific as to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think you do perceive it. This is important. This is the first time we've been given a hint. We've been told we have meaningless thoughts and meaningless world, and now it's saying that that is impossible. Why? Because we are perceiving falsely. Perception is never real. It's perception. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. And of course, we choose the ego over and over and over again. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence, and unreality. And this alone is correct. Because it's true. If the ego faces the void, it knows that it can't feel it. It can't feel it. However, when we experience the void of the ego, the void of anxiety, the void of fear, what we come to is the capacity for love itself. Hey, Rusty. We all do what we got to do, man. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess, and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, and they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way than from the preceding ones. With eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about you, slowly saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. So we begin with a meaningless world. Close your eyes. A meaningless world engenders fear. Open your eyes, look around. I am seeing a meaningless world. Whatever your eyes light upon, very slowly, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about. Then close your eyes again and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I am in competition with God. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement. Whatever form such resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of the vengeance of the enemy. Those are in quotation marks. Vengeance, enemy. You are not expected to believe the statement at this point and will probably dismiss it as preposterous. I'll get there. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. This is a first attempt at starting an explicit cause and effect relationship of any kind, which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. Do not dwell on the concluding statement and do not even to think of it except during the practice periods. That will suffice at present. All right. Hey, Lee. I did not see what Lee said. I missed it. I got good news. Tomorrow, you find out, lesson 14, God did not create a meaningless world. We did. So if you've been a little depressed, lesson 13, I got a meaningless world because of my meaningless thoughts. Now we're going to start making some sense. Hey, Stinkbug, how are you? Man, I haven't even put my shoes on. What's the deal with that? I got a lot to do this morning. I got to set up the live stream with Carol, and I need to make some shorts. I want to add to the Esoteric Lounge. What did our friend Lee have to say? Should I even bother? It's always funny. We've always had someone come in and say that. Not you again, bro. We've always had people come in and say that. Like, it's so unexpected to find Eric on Eric's live stream. That's the last place I would have thought that I would find him. Not you again, bro. Jeez, what am I doing here? And yet here I am, man. The last place you expected to find me. Kat says, a request from Kat. Send some Reiki, please. Yes, I will. I will do so immediately after this live stream, Kat. So I'm going to turn things around. A little bit of verbal jujitsu, some verbal judo. Not you again, Lee Jones. I didn't expect to see you here, my arch nemesis. You found me. Sissy said, ring bell. I will. For you, Kat. Hey, Marlon. Anyone who might be sound sensitive, please turn down the volume. 3 rings for Kat, as well as for anyone else who needs it right now. Love you, Kat. And speaking of how Sinkbook says, oh Lord, I'll cut you some slack, give you a couple weeks to get that shoe on. I got both shoes to put on. I gotta find them, man. I don't even know where they are. Here we go. Charlie's here. That means I gotta start with my right one. That's the hard one, guys. Sinkbug, how's your grandparents? Please let them know that I'm asking about them. Chef Mary, how are you, my friend? Any questions about lesson 13? Yep, lesson 14 tomorrow. Let's see. Lee says he doesn't like Rusty Shackleton. How can you not like Rusty Shackelford? It's my best friend, man. Him and I go way back since I've known Rusty since 5:13 this morning. Him and I, man, we've been through the fire together. How can you not like Rusty, man? He saved my life once, way back in 5:12 a.m. when I needed it the most. Right foot forward, exactly. Here we go. Chef says, good dear. I'm glad to hear that. Mary? Hey, sometimes, guys, we are so familiar with people coming in that we may or may not realize we might not be subscribed to them. So double check for everyone. And while we're at it, guys, speaking of playlists, as I was earlier, head on over and give our friend Sissy some watch hours. Would be much, much appreciated. Semper says Rusty is stuck in his ways or glued to, or glued to the screen. Both of those are kind of gross to think about. Sinkbook says she's not doing well, but she's eating well and got some sleep today. And she's been to the doctors, right? Prayers to Miss Joan. Your grandfather and you as well, Stinkbug. I believe our friend Janet, who will be up this afternoon, I believe she's a Reiki master as well. I've learned about the abdomation Habsburg jaw. You don't know what that is. Doesn't sound good. Nothing that begins with abomination. It's never led to anything, right? That sounds good. Sinkbook says, yes, some home health nurses coming to the house. Awesome. So yeah, any questions about lesson 13? Hey, if our friend Hammer is in the background, and he's on the road, just prayers for safe driving, wherever he might be. Sickbook says, I know what it is. He's just messing with you. You can't mess with me, man. For one, I'm seldom ever unconcerned about things I don't know what they are, right? Like, I have no rush to go to the computer and say, oh my God, what is this guy saying? And two, man, I don't care. I don't care. Makes me wonder, why would anyone be concerned about a word on a screen, or several words on a screen, or even a paragraph on a screen, or even if someone wrote a book about me? 32 days until Valentine's Day. I won't start panicking until we're at that 24-hour mark. Sissy says, Chef Mary, I shared your 2026 playlist in my community. Awesome. 200 years of rural inbreeding. Ah, got you. That's a lot of inbreeding. All right, shoes on. Well, I'm ahead of the game. Maybe I should take that leisurely approach more often every morning. So here's what I thought we'd do too. I want to head over to the text. We haven't given the text much thought yet, but we will. The introduction to the text says, this is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at any given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. The course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Only love is real. Here's the thing. This is why I say A Course in Miracles is a path of yoga. Yoga is about removing the obstacles of clear seeing. The 5 klesha, the affliction of the mind, explains why we see everything the way we see everything. We see it through the lens of those kleshas. Kleshas means afflictions. Kat says, why get upset on words on a screen? It's also silly, isn't it? It is. I mean, imagine this. What if I missed those words? What if I accidentally skipped them? Would I be upset that I missed someone's opinion of me? Oh man, someone probably said something about me, and I don't know what it is. I missed it. I don't know now if I should be upset or not to be upset. What a quandary. I just wanted to say quandary. I can go entire days without using a single word that begins with a Q. So when given the opportunity, I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it. You know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to be quick about it. No questions asked. I'm all about the Q. Anyway, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing real exists. Imagine that. Words on a screen aren't real. They're not real. So how can I be threatened? Is a word on a screen actually who you are? If someone says, look at that bald guy. Hey, is that true? Am I actually a bald guy? All right, they got me there. They got me in that one. Can't argue that. Now my entire life philosophy is thrown up in the air. Once again, I'm returning to a quandary. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. So, yoga is seeing past and through those 5 afflictions of the mind. Sissy says, Course in Miracles teaches none of it matters. I agree. The afflictions of the mind are seeing everything through the lens of our attachments. I like this, I love this, I want this, more of that. Conversely, we also see the eyes of our aversions. I don't like this, I don't like that, I want more of this, I want less of that. As well, our fear of death. We are afraid that we are small and limited. Which brings us to 4. We don't know who we truly are. We believe that we are simply an ego, a personality, the narrator in our head. That's who we are. The last one, the fifth affliction, is ignorance. We don't know who we are. And we don't even know that all this is going on in our heads. We don't even know it. We think everything we think is true. We think every belief we have is written in the stone of our heart and it can't be shattered. It's who we are. I am who I am, right? Immortal words of Popeye. So yoga is about seeing past those five afflictions. It is, as what we just said. Oops, sorry guys. It is removing those blocks to love's awareness. This is why A Course in Miracles is another branch of yoga. All right. Hey, Jamie, how are you? Kat says, I guess that's where you can make a decision to choose to react or just let it go because it has nothing to do with you. True. And you know what? Even deeper. Reactions. Reactions are natural. Reaction is a safety mechanism built into our very DNA. We stay safe. We avoided the saber-toothed tiger. We avoided getting stamped on by a mastodon. We avoided all that stuff that we needed to avoid. We kept, when we were a single-celled amoeba trying to crawl out from the ocean, we avoided all the stuff that can eliminate a single-celled organism, right? I don't know what they are. Hey, BBN. Hey, Michael. You can actually do meditations that make the amygdala, your fear center, actually start shrinking. Agreed. So we can get to a point where you don't really fear of anything. So let your reactions be their reactions. Don't try to fight them. Don't try to change them. However, if you notice a deer gets startled, runs away, looks back to see where the danger is, realizes there isn't any danger, and goes back to eating. Doing deer stuff. Whatever deers do. I don't want to know. What a deer does in the privacy of their own field is between the deer. None of my concern. However, here's what we do. We react to fear, right? My boss might yell at me. My dog might poop on the carpet. My spouse might piss me off. Whatever, right? We react. And then we look behind us and we think, well, I don't see anything. I better keep reacting to keep whatever is not happening even more. It's pretty ridiculous, right? Keeps us keyed up. But after the reaction, that's when we can decide to be responsive. We can reassess and realize there's no danger. Take a breath. Take several breaths. In fact, do some breath work. In fact, smile at our own ridiculousness. Now, if there is present danger, your reactions serve a purpose and they help you. Awesome. You avoided the mastodon or the saber-toothed tiger. Maybe you wanted the mastodon. I don't know. Sampa says it's not awareness if you don't discern discern what's made you fear. Agreed. Who brought up the peas, man? It better not have been the lovely and beloved Kat. She would never do such a thing to me. Sinkbuck says, I'm a scientist, brother. Kat says, hey, Yogi, I just thought you would like this. There's this is what you are promoting today. I know what I'm promoting. No need to bring it up. Wholehearted, grain-free, all life stages, beef and beef formula. This is how much I love you and your dog that I would do such a thing. By the way, if you have dogs, buy your dog food supplies only through the affiliate marketing of Just a Yogi in his basement, shilling for the big dog food companies. That's right. I sold out. I sold out a long time ago, guys. I went corporate. I'm not even really bald. I do this. This is my look. I shave my head every morning. Um, hey, Long John, how are you? Sissy knows. Sissy right now is shaking her fist in reactionary anger. Not the peas. She's going to panic. Sissy, it's okay. You and I will get through this moment together. Let's join hands, take a deep breath together. No need to react to the peas. I will choose to be responsive. I'm on a quest. Get that? Another Q word? Stinkbug says, I can confirm. He's not really bald. No, Stinkbug's my publicist. He very carefully helped me craft this image. Anna says, I choose to be responsive. Sissy says, You're Killing Me, Smalls, one of the great baseball movies of all times. Samper says, That's why he's always slightly late, washing his hair down the plug hole. Is there any nastier word in existence than plug hole? Why does someone take two perfectly serviceable words, plug and hole, and put them together in something that no one ever needs to say out loud? Kat said, must have been all that hair going down that. Why you just blame it on somebody else? He did have a plumbing issue yesterday. It was not my plumbing issue, man. It was not. I'm the one who had to clean it up. There's nothing worse than cleaning up someone else's plumbing accident. There was a problem with the plug hole, believe it or not. Michael says, Your dry humor is really very funny. I shaved my head. I'm not bald. I try, my friend. We try to keep things light. We talk about some pretty serious stuff here. So, here's a great secret of A Course in Miracles. Here's a great secret of life. The universe, as we know it, came into existence because there was a tiny mad idea that we could be separate from God and each other, that there was even such a thing as each other, that we were singular in existence, separate from the source. It was such a crazy idea that we remembered not to laugh at it. Bam, the Big Bang. You want to reverse the Big Bang? Learn how to laugh at the absurdity. Why did I pick that word? I knew I couldn't say it. Absurdity. I did it. Absurdity of it all. Charlie says, I agree, Yogi, that's not a fun experience. No, it was not. Sinkbook says, it probably is his brother. Well, I will neither confirm nor deny that it was my brother. Kat says, I was trying to be polite and not call out any specific people. No one knows for sure that it was my brother. Semper says, I did that with abnormalities. That one I got. Abnormalities. The first time. Sissy says, a great yogi includes the comic. Laughter is the key, says Anna. Hammer, how are you? There's nothing light in this world. I want to unpack that a little bit because I agree. But there's another world underneath this world that we've created. This is our world. We've created it with our thoughts, which means that beneath this world, beneath our thoughts, there is a different world. That's the world in which we've created with God. That's the world of our extension, not the world of our projection. Don't like the world? Change our thoughts about this world, and the light of the actual world, the light of love, makes itself known. Sinkbug says, didn't mean offense. Oh, no one. No. Sinkbug. Cat's just joking. Cat says, no apologies needed, Stinkbug. Yep. Hey, Aaron. Good morning, my friend. Guys, Aaron Sniper, Kat, I appreciate you guys being there last night. What do you think? Hey, what do you guys think of my guest last night? Our guest last night. Lady Scott says, cousin is turning 10 years old today, Yogi. Double digits for him. It's a big year. 10 is big. Once you hit those double digits, man, there's no going back. And it says, change your thoughts about the world. Yeah, Wayne Dyer, one of his last books, he wrote a book, Living a Complete Year Under the Guidance of the Tao. And the title of the book is Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. Serpa says, laugh at yourself is the highest form of spiritual alchemy. Agreed, definitely. Cece says, my first alarm is 2:30 a.m. That's about where I am. I seldom used to need an alarm, but man, if you guys remember, like a month ago, I had a really bad cold. Ever since then, I'm sleeping like right up to my alarm. Kat says, Stinkbug, you love Yogi and Yogi loves you. You are, thumbs up, A-OK. Okay, another Q word with me. Okay has a Q in it for me, by the way. I don't know how you spell it. I spell it differently. Simpa says she had some very wise wisdom. Agreed. I enjoyed her quite a bit. Michael says, what works better for me than changing my thoughts was just learning to have no thoughts. So, like, I just have silence in my head. Awesome. I've been meditating for over 40 years. I'm not there. And I'm not even trying to be there. But however, I'm in a very happy place where I'm aware of my thoughts. And when I'm aware of the thoughts, then I don't relate to the thoughts. It gives me maneuverability. I get to maneuver. Well, before, I was like, I'm going to date myself with this. I was like a pinball in a pinball machine. Pinball game. Just careening back and forth. Anyone with a flipper could spin me anywhere. And a flipper was always the words or actions of another. All it took. Or I didn't even need another. I could do it myself. You know, I could just be having disquieting thoughts. Technically, that word does have a Q in it. Disquieting thoughts about myself, and I would spin out of control. But when you become aware of your thoughts, you recognize yourself as spaciousness itself. I find people who preach to Jesus are the biggest sinners. I don't know about that. Maybe. But remember, sin just means mistake. So people who preach against Jesus are the most mistaken. Preach about Jesus. Depends on what they're preaching, I guess, right? Simple says awareness is key, not just silence. Yeah, you know, as Nisargadatta Maharaj said, once you are relating to the I am presence, once you are relating to yourself as awareness, it doesn't matter what your mind's doing. It doesn't matter. You know you are not those thoughts. They're just clouds passing through. The sky never concerns himself with the clouds. If it storms, it storms. The sky itself is unharmed. If it's big, white, puffy clouds, so what? If it's a bird passing through, if it's the tip of a mountaintop, if it's a branch extending, the sky is always just the sky. Lady Sky says, can you ring the bell for my cousin who turns 10 years old? Hope he has a great birthday. I can do that. Happy birthday to Lady Sky's cousin. Anyone who is sound sensitive, just turn the volume down, please. You give it a moment. Marlon, if you're in the background, gonna ring the bell 3 times. Lady Sky's cousin, the Big 10, 2 digits. It's like a graduation. Happy birthday. Sissy says, I've been falling asleep in the early evenings and missing out on several people's lives. You ever take naps during the day? I actually have a nap guru who is present here in the live stream. I take about a 30-minute nap in the afternoon. It's actually helped my recovery from my workouts. Sickbook says he might have just been metaphorical. Hey, Jerry. Good or bad, enjoy the ride. This too shall pass. Amen to that. Sickbook says maybe they can help me. Naps? You know what? Naps really can help. We're in a steep deficit. We're almost in survival mode. Even if you get to sleep, because we spend a lot of time through the day doom scrolling, soaking up that information. We're in overdrive. Anytime that we get a chance to reset and restore, we should take it. So why I highly recommend Yoga Nidra, meditation, and taking naps, as well as doing the asanas, the physical aspect of yoga. It's a very restorative practice. Doesn't need to be a whole lot of things. Guys, do it's called the garland squat, a full squat using your elbows to extend, open up the hips, right? Then do a forward bend. Don't worry about if your knees are straight or otherwise. Just very gently start working your head towards your knees. Then lay on the floor or sit on the floor and do the child pose. Hold the child pose for 3 minutes if you can. Then go up against the wall and put your legs up against the wall, your back on the floor, your legs up against the wall, like that, L shape. And keep your legs above the heart for 1 to 2 minutes. Then stand up, hands in prayer position, go into a mountain pose, straight up, extend the spine, and just hold that 3-5 breaths. Bring it back down. Say a prayer. Chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace peace peace. Call it a day. Hi Flora, my friend. Sissy says sometimes I take naps, but more often than not, if I take a nap, I sleep the rest of the day away and wake up early in the wee hours. Then I started preferring to be awake early while everyone slept. Me too. I love being awake in the morning. It's my most creative time. Hey, have you ever done Yoga Nidra, Sissy? Anna says she is good. How are you, Lady Sky? Sickbook says my big ass would end up in the hospital. Oh, when I try to sleep, it's just PTSD symptoms. Terrible scenarios playing in my head. Even if I redirect the thoughts, another bad one takes place. Sickbook, I know you've had the practice of mindfulness meditation, Vipassana. Are you still practicing? Hey, Jeff. Jeff, how are you, my friend? Guys, if I missed any messages above, I apologize. I'm happy to help anyone has questions about that little yoga routine. If you finish that with some breath work, or even started with some breath work, man, you're ahead of the game, guys. It's a deeply restorative practice. We need to decompress. We need to reset the central nervous system. We need to go from that reactivity, from the sympathetic state to the parasympathetic. We need to learn how to react to whatever present danger there might be, whatever danger we think is present, and then take a deep sigh, like the deer looking around, realizing danger is not present, and then proceed in life. Trust in the fact that your reactivity potential is present. If you need to react, you will do so, right? But not everything should keep us in hyperdrive. If someone cuts you off, react accordingly. Maybe that's flipping them off. But afterwards, give them a smile, wave, mouth, I'm sorry, because it was just a reaction. No need to then make it worse. Right? Let's reduce the amount of rage that's in the world. I wrote about that this morning. I wrote a little bit about politics this morning. Not political, but I'm going to do a live stream next week. The very gentle and loving 80-year-old woman. And we're going to talk about from politics to love. Politics doesn't have to be divisive. It can be different opinions. It doesn't have to be divisive, though. What if this is what the Course says, the rules of decision making. What if we set our goal every day for one thing and one thing only? Today I will be at peace with whatever occurs. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean that I might not even hate it. But can I be at peace because it's present? Can I be at peace with someone's opinion that is different than mine? Or do I need to be forceful? You need to think like me. Can't you see? Your thinking is what's making a mess out of the world, not my thinking. All of our thoughts are making a mess out of the world because we're thinking with the ego, even if it's for a higher sense, higher purpose, and we're insisting that other people are wrong. We're thinking with the ego. We have an option. We don't realize that we have an option, but we do have an option. As long as we truly, truly believe we don't have an option, that the way I think is the only way that I can think, you're stuck. I know because I've been stuck. I've unstuckified myself. Yes, that's a word, officially, as of now. Unstuckified. Look it up in the dictionary of Yogi. It's there. Unstuckify. Sinkbook says I have plenty of rage, but not acting on it is what makes a person a good man. I agree, but we can reduce that rage. We can definitely reduce that rage. We need to do those restorative practices. Here's the question. How many of us do things to make ourselves better? To make ourselves feel better? Do we eat in a way that supports our immune system? Do we do some type of very gentle movement that restores the central nervous system to a responsive rather than reactive mode? Do we do a daily breath routine that keeps us in that parasympathetic state when we want to be there, when we need to be there? Do we do a daily check-in? Do we do a moment-to-moment check-in? Where am I tense? Where am I holding tension? How am I breathing? Where am I breathing? Am I breathing through the mouth and high up in my chest? Or am I breathing through the nose and down in the diaphragm? Are my shoulders high and tense? Is my jaw tight? Check in with the body. The body will tell you everything you need to know. Do I have a daily restorative practice? We get keyed up. We get keyed up from work. We get keyed up from our daily interactions. We get keyed up being on the internet. But we don't do anything to bring us back down. We think this is the way I'm supposed to be. It's the other people that have a problem. Are we choosing peace? Or do we think that's an impossible choice? I can promise you that this is not just it works for some, doesn't work for others. I've been in the depth of depression. I have drank myself into a depressive hole there I saw no way out of. I drank for a purpose, and the purpose was annihilation. Life can turn around in an instant, but we need to start instilling practices. You know, in the big book AA, the 12 steps, they talk about the necessity of an epiphany. Kundalini King says, Writing from the Body by John Lee is another good one. I saw you mention Sarnos yesterday, Kundalini King. I know we've talked about him before. Dream work is inner work, and it's healing, hearing, and it's healing, harrowing, heroing. Syncbook says, Rage and Syncbug would not be a pretty sight, man. I bet. Bye, Lady Sky. Syncbook says, you mind texting later? I will definitely do my best to text later. For sure. Flora says, True Yogi brother. Thank you, Flora, my friend. Sickbook says, I can give my suggestions. Sure, definitely. Sickbook says, I feel like most viewers would find a different perspective interesting. I can understand that. I try to bring up a variety of guests, but it does have a common theme. My perspective is always and only going to be one of healing and what helps someone heal. True healing. Not bypassing or masking where if things don't go our way, we might step up. I don't want anyone to go through life tensed up. Cass laughing says, Yogi. And it says nutrition is essential as well. Absolutely. Are we eating anti-inflammatory foods? Are we, again, eating in a way that supports the immune system? Are we, what are we consuming? We're not just eating, we're literally consuming. If we are eating, I don't tell anyone don't eat meat. I'm a vegan, yes. If you eat meat, be careful where you get your meat from. If you can go to a butcher, if you can support small farms, if you can hunt, if you can fish, all the better. You don't want to consume fear. And if you are any kind of factory farm raised meat, if you're consuming any kind of factory farm raised meat, you are consuming fear. You're consuming ill-warranted chemicals, hormones, all kinds of nasty stuff. And you don't want to. You don't want to. Should be obvious, right? Kundalini Kid says, oh man, I want to eat Stinkbug's channel. Stinkbug puts up some pretty, and cortisol, yes. Stinkbug says, I understand. I've just had like dozens of people here ask questions, and I try to let you stay on topic. Sissy says, awesome, Michael. Not sure why you keep retracting messages. Yeah, never feel the need to. Hey, Angela. What's up, man, from New Zealand? What's up, Angela? Man, how cool did I sound when I said that? What's up? Did you guys just collectively nod your head and think, man, Yogi's so cool. What's up, man? What's up, guys? Cats. Yogi, you are the best. Hey, Daniel. Cat says, I hope you have an awesome, adventurous, but safe walk. Awesome and adventurous, but safe walk. Thank you, Cat. Let's see. Ed, Aid, Ed. I can't pronounce that. I'm not a yogi, but I'm flexible. Flexibility is important, and I'm not just talking about the body. Flexibility of the mind is more important than flexibility of the body. Can you entertain the possibility that you might be wrong? Can you entertain the possibility that someone else might be right or righter than you? Flo says, take a lot of greens and little meat. Beautifully said. Perfect. 100%. You too, Aaron. Thanks for coming in, my friend. And it says, hi, Daniel. Thank you. Happy Tuesdays to you and to everyone. So, guys, today, Janet Kella Weisserman is coming in 1 o'clock. She's got a beautiful YouTube channel, a long-time practitioner of Course in Miracles. She's also a Reiki master. No idea what we're going to talk about, but I know I'm going to enjoy it. Same as I did yesterday. I hope you enjoyed my guest yesterday. Carol Howe, Howe. She's a force of nature, a loving force. I'm going to talk to her about all things about the Course. You know, I'm so tempted to spend a lot of time talking about the past with her, talking about knowing those who brought A Course in Miracles out here. But I don't want to focus too much about it, even though I'm fascinated with it. Kat says, cannot wait for tonight. She's a legend. She is. I want to hear her message for right now. You know, I will cover some of that. Hammer says, take your meds. The government loves you. If you take the meds, tell me about them. Sickbook says, I start the day with blueberries. Me too. No grapes, so blueberries in my oatmeal. Then move to carbs and protein throughout the day. I try to hit 3,000 calories minimum and drink about 7 bottles of water. Awesome. Sickbook says, I wish I could talk to a Reiki person on screen. You have. You've talked to me before. Doobie. That doesn't sound like a doobie roller that I know. Sickbook says, sounds like a lyric. Cat says, hello, Yogi is a Reiki person. Yep. Kundalini King says, sniped. Don't want to get sniped, man. So yeah, like I said, I want to talk to Sickbook says, I'm adding Reiki to the list of topics. Sissy's pointing up. Oh, back to Carol. Yeah, I don't want to get caught up in the past. Sickbook says I was being funny. I know. I get it. And radiodontics too. Kat says, Stinkbug, I think you have some great ideas. I'm wondering why you don't do that on your channel. I don't mean this in a bad way, so please don't take it that way. Sissy says, I am being serious. Hammer says, nobody taking my phone and I ain't taking meds. Now what, cowards? Hey, Hammer, just sending love your way, my friend. I know this is a tense time. Just all I can do is send you love. Hey, I sort of like Kat's idea too. You know what? That would be kind of cool to have someone doing a live stream counterpoint to Yogi and guest. in a very friendly way. You know what I mean? Sickbook says has some pretty serious health issues. Miss Cat, don't look too healthy right now. Charlie says, love you, Hank Hammer. Hang in there, brother. Amen. Sickbook says, I would like to tell. I would like to tell. Sissy says, Ed Casey and Dolores Canyon inspired me to expand my horizons. I'm not familiar with Dolores Cannon. All right, guys, we're going to head out. I'm going to take my walk. I'm going to ring the bell 3 more times. If you're sound sensitive, reduce the volume, and then we're heading out. This is for our friend Hammer. This is for our friend Stinkbug. This is for Stinkbugs. This is for Miss Joan. 3 little ring of the bells. Oh, gotcha. Yogi, we had a discussion. So did the QHHT. Gotcha. That name didn't ring a bell, but I got you now. Thank you, Kat. That's pretty awesome that she helped expand your horizons there, Sissy. 3 times. Love to my friends. Love to our friends. Love to our family. Guys, I will see you at 1. We're kicking the day off. Sniper, thanks for understanding. So we're going to do the Esoteric Lounge on Thursday evening instead of Wednesday. Wednesday, who do I have Wednesday? I have Scott Grace. Scott Grace is a stand-up comic. He has opened up for Dana Carvey and Robin Williams and other stand-up greats. He has studied, of course, miracles. He has studied all kinds of healing modalities. He's written a ton of great books. The one thing that I really want to talk to him about is reintroducing the sacred masculine. Guys, we had a guest up a little while back where we talked about the Corinne Zupko, and we talked a little bit about the divine feminine. We miss out on the divine masculine. The fact that the divine masculine is a force of good. It is who we truly are. You know, we throw the word out, toxic masculinity, and of course, a lot of men immediately get upset with that. Masculinity isn't toxic. They're not talking about masculinity. They're talking about that which is masking our true essence of masculinity, right? The toxic masculinity is a pose, and it's for posers. It's those who believe that force is more valuable than power. Sacred masculinity resides in power, not in force. Think about the most admired men. Think of Abraham Lincoln. Think of Dr. Martin Luther King, whose birthday is on Monday. Sort of celebrated on Monday. Think of Gandhi. Men of quiet strength. I think of my father. A man who was never forceful and yet was powerful. A man who at the age of 17, knowing only the backwoods of central Pennsylvania during the Depression, dropped out of high school at the age of 17, with permission, joined the Navy in the tail end of World War II, found himself, again, never experiencing outside that little closed circle of an extremely rural area of Pennsylvania. It still is, one stoplight in the whole county. And found himself on a minesweep in the South Pacific, being readied for kamikaze raids at the tail end of World War II. He was someone who experienced force, but knew the way to respond was with power. So we'll talk about that. Emma says TRICARE will pay for this. I actually had TRICARE when I was married. Sickwick says, I don't have many positive male role models, but my maternal grandfather was a decorated war hero. Art of War is also about finding peace. All right. Love you guys. Like I said, big guests coming up. So I'll see everyone then. I hope. Love you guys. Yeah, it is a definitely a trigger word, isn't it? All right, guys. Take care. You too, Stinkbug. See you, Aaron.